The Tron Air is coming out next week. I'm doing a review of the previous two Tron films. Last week was my review of Tron 1982, and this week is my Tron Legacy review. Welcome back to Sam Talks Nerdy. Hope you're happy, doing well, dominating life, crushing it. As always, it's going to be my positives, neutrals, and negatives of Tron Legacy. Let's get into it. Positives. First off, I think this movie does work sort of on as a standalone. Like, you don't have to watch Tron 1982 to understand anything in this film. I mean, it can be viewed as if you do watch the original, you have the sort of bonus of understanding a few things in this movie that are in the original, like understanding income, Dillinger, trying to think what else. Clue as well. Like Clue is in the original film. He's not, original. He's not original to Legacy. I understand some of the scenes from the original that this movie recreates. Like, wow, that's a big door.
Now that is a big door.
Now that is a big door.
I also feel like there's more to this plot compared to Tron 1982. And in the original, it's just Flynn goes to the income, tries to get his information, gets sent to the grid, competes in the games, escapes the games, stops the master program or master control, which I don't really understand what they were doing. Like, I don't recall that film explaining it at all. And escape. In this, Sam gets sent to the grid, and since he's in there, he has to go look for his dad. Gets sent to the games, competes in the games for a couple times. Gets saved by Cora, reunites with his dad, decides to try and get himself and his dad and Cora out of the grid into the real world. And then he has to stop Clue from coming into the real world. And I feel like there's a lot more to this movie than the original. Also, it's kind of funny that, like, in this, he stops Clue from coming into the real world, yet in Tron Ares, and Con just makes that completely moot and find a way to do it themselves. Garrett Hedlund is really solid in this movie. He felt like a young Jeff Bridges or someone who could be, Jeff Bridges as a kid, especially now that he's older. He felt like, a young Kevin Flynn in the original movie. And Jeff Bridges just kills it because he's doing double time as both Kevin Flynn and Clue. And I do think I prefer him more as Clue as a villain than when he was Obadiah Stane in the first Iron Man. Which, yeah, did you forget that he's in the MCU? No worry, I do too sometimes. And I love his vibe overall of just trying to, just being zen. And I hate to say it, but it took just till now to realize, Clue's whole reason for turning on Flynn. Because for a while I didn't really understand, and I was watching, it's like, oh, it's the whole imperfection versus perfection kind of thing of, he was tasked with, creating the perfect system, then the ISOs come in, and while Flynn doesn't have a problem with them, Clue does, and so he turns on Flynn, coup, and then he commits genocide on the ISOs, which, yeah, that was kind of dark. And he also takes control of the grid a little. Let's not forget that too. When it comes to Cora versus Yori, I prefer Cora. There's more to her compared to Yori. I mean, in this movie, she saves Sam from the games, takes him to Flynn, and also fills him in on what Flynn's been doing, like saving her from the genocide. Kicks butt at the club, and then she also is expressing her interest in the real world, like learning about authors and wanting to witness a sunrise. Also, shout out to Olivia Wilde for having to relearn all of her fight choreography for this movie, because I forget why, but I think it was because they changed her shoes, her footwear, so she had to relearn all the fight scenes because of that. I really hope we see Sam and Cora and Tron Ares. Like, we need to know what they've been up to since the events of this movie. Like, I'll even take just a cameo. And also, weird question, but like, is she technically like Sam's adopted sister? Because I didn't really get any sort of like lovey-dovey, chemistry from them during this movie. It was more of like brother and sister. And Michael Sheen killed it as Zeus. Like, he rocked every scene he was in. Just, I loved watching him on screen. Just his energy was just captivating. It sucked he died, because I would love to see more of him somehow. Like, I doubt he would have been Tron Ares. Maybe in a different timeline, Tron Legacy would have gotten a sequel a lot sooner than, well, now. But I don't know, it was like, he was a cool character. I'll just fish off of that. The grid, well, all visuals just, obviously, they were much better than Tron 82. Obviously, just glorious eye candy throughout this film. Just so many beautiful shots. Just I love this movie. Just for the visuals alone. I mean, I forgot to mention that, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, Tron 82 sort of brought in the neo noir style, but I'm sorry, but Tron Legacy just perfected it. Also, the battles in this just were a lot better than the original two. Just in Tron 1982, the light disc battle just felt very stiff. It's just Tron staying stationary and it's like blocking shots and like throwing a disc. But in Legacy, people are doing flips and dodging, just a lot more dynamic. Even the light cycles too, like in Tron, in the original, it's just ba. But in Legacy, it's just going down, going up, circles. Just the action scenes in this were a lot more dynamic compared to Tron 1982. And also the suits were a lot better compared to the original. I mean, yeah, the original white ones do have a special place in my heart, but the black looks so much better, and even the light patterns are a lot better than the ones compared to the original. It just felt kind of messy. Hey guys, Edding Sam here, and there's a positive I forgot to mention in my original recording, and that is the absolutely bumping soundtrack from Daft Punk. Just, I love this soundtrack. It's a lot better than Tron 1982, and I am really curious to see what Nine Inch Nails will do in Tron Ares. Will it be as good as Daft Punk's soundtrack, or will it top it? But let's be real, it's not going to top Daft Punk. Let's be real. Neutrals. Tron Legacy does feel familiar to Tron 1982 at certain points. Both films involve the Flynn boys breaking into Encom, getting sent to the grid, competing in the games. Though I will say, in the original, it's Flynn competes in a weird like ball game, while in Legacy, Sam competes in a disc battle, which was a lot more entertaining than the ball one in the original. And then they both compete in a light cycle game. They escape, and then they stop the bad guy, and then get out the grid, and then everyone goes home happy. But I will say Legacy is a bit superior in terms of emotion. Like there were some moments in this film that just hit me right in the feels, like when Sam reunites with Kevin, or when Kevin sacrifices himself so Sam and Cora can escape, or when Sam and Kevin, I keep saying Flynn, but Sam and Kevin are having their moment on the freight train. Even in this, they don't really explain the grid, like or programs. Like it's like is it me do I not understand anything? Like is my brain is my brain that primitive? I mean, is the grid a place we go if things here go sideways? I mean, someone explain this to me, please. Like any like Tron super fans, please tell me in the comments. Like I need to know. And CGI Jeff Bridges was very off-putting at times. I mean, I know it was 2010. They were just starting to perfect this whole CGI face swap, deep fake technology. But just watching it, I'm just like, you can really tell it's CGI. And then I remember watching something from Jeff Bridges and talking about how like in this they made him look like Bill Maher, and I cannot see that now. Like that is Bill Maher in the grid. Like Clue is Tron Bill Maher. Also they could have done more with Tron or Rinsler, and then just have him just be a side character, the silent muscle. Like they could have had a whole tiny plot line of as soon as Kevin came out of hiding that lose control over Tron or Rinsler would start to break and he start to realize who he is, or maybe have the beat start sooner when he encounters Sam during the games. Like it can't be then that clues control over him starts to break. Negatives. Looking back, I will say this should have been some sort of arc about Sam coming around to taking control of Encom or being, the owner of the company, but instead it's he makes a decision to have Alan control the board, and then he writes off a Cora. Like, I feel like there could have been more of a story arc when it comes to Sam and realizing that he could be doing this. And I forgot to mention this in my Tron 82 review, which I mean, I'm a lie to you. Looking back at that review, I realized that I could have done a lot better with that, but that's in the past, so I'm gonna credit this now. But I will say with Tron 82, it was, boom, 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 boom. Just, quick, to the point. No, it didn't drag at all during the film. But in this, yeah, like it's exciting. And then it was after he reunites with Flynn and he goes to see Zeus and all that. After that, that just really drags. I mean, yeah, we had the freight train scene where we got a really good moment between Sam and his dad, but other than that, just yeah, like it really dragged in the middle. This is a strong 9 out of 10 for me. Just I enjoy this movie whenever I come back to watch it. And to be honest, I was given the choice of watching either Tron 1982 or Tron Legacy. I'm choosing Tron Legacy. Plus, this movie holds some nostalgic value for me because I remember seeing this when it came out with my dad and my brother. Then once we got home, I hopped on to Roblox. Yeah, I played Roblox before it was cool. And I played this cool light cycle game someone made, and just yeah, that I have just a really fun memory about this movie. Now I actually want to ask this question: compared to the original, is Tron Legacy sort of vital viewing to watch before Tron Ares? And I'm going to say yes because I mentioned earlier that Tron Ares kind of follows up a plot point with this movie of the grid coming to the real world. So I think it's probably vital for watching just for that reason. And also, this is sort of like a random side note. But after watching Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde in this, is it weird? I think they can make a good DCU Green Arrow and Black Canary. Tell me in the comments. I mean, I think so. So Jameson Guns, get on it. Anyways, that'll be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you're listening to this via my podcast, make sure to follow me on Apple Podcast and Google Podcast. And also leave me a 5-star rating and good review where you can. If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for my review of Tron Ares, which should come shortly after it comes out. See you next time.